she's also been making comments like this for a long time now. It wasn't just last year at D23 where she's running her mouth off on Snow White. Back in 2019, she actually viciously and nastily attacked Hawkeye actor Jeremy Renner, showing that her comments at D23 and the comments she's made towards Gina Carano and towards people on Twitter, it's a pattern, right? She hasn't changed her behavior. She's been doing this kind of thing since 2019.
I feel so bad for Jeremy Renner because he clearly said that my ex-wife said all of this for revenge, to try and ruin my career, and it's so sad to see him be accused of such bad things, and people like this garbage actress cling on to accusations and act like they're the truth.
I would love a job. That's all I have to say. I'll take a job, and I've obviously grew up loving Marvel movies and DC movies. If I was contractually allowed to live the best of both worlds, then I would.
Rachel Zegler, every time that she is in front of a camera, boy, is she just insufferable. It's been a long time since we've seen somebody just exuding so much unlikability.
Rachel Zegler, once a rising star, is now engulfed in a tempest of controversy. Her controversial remarks, from casting choices to personal opinions, have ignited a firestorm of backlash. The latest target? Jeremy Renner. Her comments have left fans demanding answers. Can she weather this storm, or will her reputation be irreparably damaged? The spotlight is unforgiving, and time is running out. Rachel Zegler's controversial comments on Jeremy Renner. Rachel Zegler recently made headlines with her explosive comments about Jeremy Renner, calling him a racist, sexist, transphobic garbage monster. This shocking outburst came during a highly publicized custody battle between Renner and his ex-wife, Soni Pacho, raising eyebrows and igniting debate across social media and entertainment circles alike. Zegler's words struck a nerve, but what led her to take such a bold stand, and at what cost? Many were taken aback by Rachel's harsh words, especially considering Renner's solid reputation in Hollywood and his dedicated fan base, largely thanks to his iconic role as Hawkeye in the Marvel franchise. Was she prepared to risk her own credibility by wading into such treacherous waters? The timing of her remarks only intensified the scrutiny. At that moment, Sony's accusations against Renner hadn't been legally validated. Renner's team had crafted a robust defense, highlighting inconsistencies in Sony's claims and the lack of corroborating evidence for her more serious allegations. It seemed Rachel's fierce stance was less about seeking justice and more about settling a personal score. Adding fuel to the fire, Renner received a standing ovation at the 2023 People's Choice Awards, a remarkable feat amid the swirling negative press surrounding him. This moment was significant, especially considering the backdrop of public opinion. Could it be that he would have received such an honor if the allegations were credible? This victory not only showcased the unwavering support he still commands in the industry, but also amplified the perception that Rachel's comments were reckless and, perhaps, woefully misinformed. As the fallout from Rachel's statements continued, many began to scrutinize her decision to involve herself in a sensitive legal issue still unfolding. Why did she feel the need to dive into a contentious situation where the facts were still hotly debated? The backlash grew as fans and industry insiders alike questioned her motives. Ultimately, Rachel's comments might have done more to damage her own reputation than to clarify the complexities of the case. During the heated custody battle, Sony painted a troubling picture of Renner, alleging a long history of alcohol and drug abuse, claiming it posed a significant danger to their daughter. She went even further, accusing him of making death threats and exhibiting suicidal behavior. Did Rachel take these serious accusations at face value without considering the broader consequences? Instead of simply voicing her support for Sony, Rachel boldly called for Renner's removal from his iconic role as Hawkeye, framing her comments as part of a larger call for accountability and change. Her boldness made it seem like she was positioning herself for the role, even tweeting, "Can I be the new Hawkeye?" This wasn't just a whimsical suggestion. It was a clear indication that she wanted to capitalize on the controversy for her own gain. Was this an earnest plea for change or a clever publicity stunt? Later, she suggested reimagining the character as a trans person of color, claiming it would challenge the racist, sexist, transphobic garbage monster that she believed Renner represented. This statement added layers to the already complicated narrative surrounding her involvement. Rachel's actions blurred the lines between activism and self-promotion, leading many to wonder if her motivations were genuinely rooted in justice or if she was simply leveraging a controversial moment to advance her own Hollywood ambitions. The optics of her involvement led to widespread criticism as fans and industry insiders alike question her ethics. In an industry where reputation is everything, could this strategy backfire spectacularly? By engaging in such a sensitive matter with an apparent agenda, Rachel may have jeopardized her relationship with her audience and her standing in Hollywood. The fallout from her comments highlights the delicate balance between using one's platform for advocacy and exploiting situations for personal gain. As the dust settles, how will Rachel Zegler be perceived by both fans and potential collaborators? Her actions will likely continue to be scrutinized, and the impact on her career in an already challenging industry remains to be seen. With her reputation on the line, one must wonder if she truly considered the implications of her words and whether she's prepared for the consequences that could follow. Jeremy Renner's legal turmoil and Rachel's backlash. Jeremy Renner's marriage to Sonny Pacheco ended in a highly publicized divorce marked by serious allegations, shared custody, and an intense court battle. What happens when a Hollywood star's personal life becomes a battleground of accusations? During the proceedings, Sonny made grave claims against Renner, including allegations of physical abuse, drug abuse, and even death threats. She went as far as to allege that Jeremy emotionally, physically, and sexually abused their daughter, claiming he threatened to pull the trigger of a weapon he had placed in his mouth. These shocking allegations painted a disturbing picture that raised significant concerns about Renner's fitness as a parent. In stark contrast, Renner categorically denied all of Sonny's accusations, asserting that they were unfounded and damaging. How does one defend against such serious allegations in the court of public opinion? He accused Sonny of struggling with mental health and substance abuse issues, which he claimed undermined her credibility. To bolster his case and prove he could provide a safe environment for their daughter, Renner agreed to undergo random drug testing and enlisted a mental health specialist. This proactive approach aimed to demonstrate his commitment to his child's well-being and further contested the claims made against him. However, the legal landscape proved more favorable for Renner than for Sonny. The court, in its assessment, did not find her allegations credible enough to warrant significant action. In a shocking turn of events, the judge denied Sonny's request for a drug test, citing insufficient facts to justify such a measure. This ruling not only reaffirmed Renner's position, but also cast doubt on Sonny's credibility, shifting the narrative dramatically. The situation took another twist when Rachel, a figure not directly involved in the legal disputes, publicly expressed support for Sonny's claims. Why would someone outside the fray choose to insert themselves into such a delicate and serious situation? Many observers found Rachel's actions troubling, perceiving them as an irrational attempt to inject herself into a highly sensitive matter, fraught with serious and unproven allegations. Critics questioned the necessity of her involvement, especially given the gravity of the accusations and the potential harm such public support could inflict on all parties involved. Amidst the tumult, Renner's career remained remarkably intact. How did he manage to navigate this storm while his professional trajectory stayed on course? The allegations did not seem to derail his path, a fact that surprised many considering the weight of the claims against him. His composed demeanor throughout the legal turmoil worked to his advantage. He refrained from engaging in a public dispute with Rachel or exacerbating the situation. When asked in an interview how he managed such controversies, Renner simply stated, "I don't respond publicly or privately to nonsense." This comment underscored his philosophy of avoiding escalation, emphasizing that engaging with controversy only fuels it. "You give it gas. I don't fuel the fires. I just don't do it. I refuse to," he asserted, a remark that many interpreted as a subtle jab at Rachel's behavior. This steady and measured response led to widespread backlash against Rachel. Could her decision to interject herself into such a deeply personal and legal matter backfire spectacularly? Many criticized her for feeling the need to make herself part of a highly sensitive situation, especially given the serious nature of the accusations involved. Public sentiment leaned toward questioning the motivations behind her comments and actions, particularly in light of the court's findings, which ultimately favored Renner and painted a very different picture than the one Rachel seemed to advocate for. The ongoing scrutiny of both Renner and Rachel serves as a reminder of the complex interplay between celebrity, personal struggles, and the quest for truth in the spotlight. But what are the controversies surrounding Rachel Zegler's decision to join the cast of Star Wars? And how will she navigate through them? Rachel Zegler's bizarre bid for a Star Wars role raises eyebrows. Rachel Zegler's latest move to join the Star Wars universe has left many fans scratching their heads in confusion. Following the controversies surrounding the live-action Snow White, she made headlines once again for what some perceived as a desperate bid for attention. This time, she cited a rather peculiar reason for wanting to be cast. Her initials, RZ, coincide with a ship designation from Star Wars comics. Specifically, she claimed that her name aligns perfectly with the RZ-1 A-Wing starfighter series, suggesting that this connection makes her a suitable candidate to play Poe Dameron's mother. While enthusiasm for a coveted role is certainly commendable, her reasoning felt more like a stretch than a valid argument. Many found her plea for a role in the iconic franchise to be lacking substance. In a landscape filled with talented actresses who could easily step into such significant parts, Rachel's assertion that having initials matching a fictional ship qualifies her for casting seemed rather flimsy. Simply possessing initials that align with an A-Wing starfighter hardly screams, "I'm the perfect fit for this part." The reaction on social media was swift and critical, with fans openly mocking her logic and questioning her self-awareness. Instead of presenting herself as a genuine fan eager to contribute to the Star Wars legacy, Rachel's comments came off as a scramble for a major franchise role, particularly in light of the backlash she faced from her portrayal in Snow White. Given the legendary status of Star Wars, many felt it was almost insulting to think that Disney would consider casting someone based on initials alone when they have a vast pool of qualified candidates ready to step into the spotlight. Rachel's attempt to join the Star Wars saga, which may have been intended as a lighthearted jest, only served to add to her list of public missteps. Fans began to wonder whether she truly grasped what makes an actor the right fit for a role, or if she was simply trying to latch onto any big-name project available. Disney is notoriously protective of its Star Wars brand, and Rachel's approach likely didn't do her any favors in the eyes of the decision-makers. As fans dissected her comments, it became increasingly clear that her reasoning did not resonate with those who hold the franchise dear, further complicating her already precarious standing in the entertainment industry. In an era where every word and action is scrutinized, how will Rachel navigate the treacherous waters of Hollywood moving forward? Disney officially fires Rachel Zegler over Snow White controversies. Why would Disney keep Rachel Zegler around? Initially, she was positioned as the face of Disney's new Snow White, a fresh, modern take on a beloved classic that aimed to resonate with contemporary audiences. However, instead of embracing this golden opportunity, Rachel seemed more interested in dismantling the original story and its legacy. She openly criticized the 1937 film, labeling it outdated and problematic for its romantic focus. This critique struck a nerve, especially considering the film's iconic status in the Disney canon. To add fuel to the fire, she referred to the prince, a character cherished by generations of fans, as a weird stalker, and she dismissed the notion of Snow White falling in love, insisting that the new movie would entirely ditch that element. These comments didn't just insult Disney's legacy, they also alienated fans who hold the original close to their hearts. With millions invested in the Snow White remake, Rachel's negative remarks transformed what should have been an exciting project into a PR nightmare. Fans were outraged that someone chosen to portray such an iconic role could show so little respect for the character's roots and the broader narrative that had enchanted audiences for decades. It felt as if Rachel wasn't merely modernizing Snow White. She was trying to erase everything the original stood for and replace it with her own vision, regardless of how the audience felt about it. So why would Disney stick with someone who seemed to do more harm than good? Each time Rachel spoke, the backlash intensified. Many industry insiders and fans speculated that she was jeopardizing the film's reputation even before it hit theaters. The constant negative press overshadowed any excitement for the remake, putting Disney in a difficult position as they navigated the waters of public perception. For a company that values its brand and the loyalty of its fans, Rachel's behavior presented a significant liability. With a wealth of talented actresses eager for the role, Her ungrateful and tone-deaf approach felt like a slap in the face to those who believed they could honor the original while bringing something new to the table. Why would Disney continue with an actress who appeared to be actively tarnishing the film's reputation and risking the alienation of its core audience? Keeping Rachel on board seemed like a gamble that the company might come to regret, especially as the backlash only continued to grow louder and more fervent. Disney officially parted ways with Rachel Zegler, a move that many saw as long overdue. Branding experts had been warning that her controversies could spell disaster for the big-budget Snow White remake, prompting executives to hold crisis talks aimed at regaining fan trust ahead of its 2024 release. With the budget reportedly ballooning to over $300 million, the stakes were incredibly high. Given the mounting pressures and costs associated with the project, it felt like they were in deep trouble. The Dial of Destiny effect was in full swing, characterized by extensive reshoots and what appeared to be heavy CGI evident even in the teaser trailer. As the budget skyrocketed and likely continued to climb, the situation looked increasingly precarious for Disney. They were striving to deliver a product that could restore faith in their audience while justifying the massive financial investment made in the film. In a world where every misstep is magnified, can Disney recover its magic in time for the release? Rachel Zegler's uncertain future in Hollywood. Will Rachel Zegler ever get hired again after her string of controversies and public missteps? That's the big question on everyone's mind in the entertainment industry. Hollywood loves a comeback story, but Rachel's repeated blunders make it hard to see studios eagerly lining up to work with her in the future. Industry insiders are raising significant red flags, noting that it's not just about her talent. Her attitude and perceived lack of professionalism are becoming increasingly concerning. In the entertainment world, reputation is everything. Rachel's open criticism of Snow White, along with her bizarre plea to join the Star Wars universe, has painted her as someone who doesn't grasp the importance of maintaining good relationships with studios. In an industry that thrives on collaboration and respect for iconic works, her dismissive stance towards beloved properties makes her come off as ungrateful and difficult to work with. It's a precarious position, especially when the foundation of a successful career relies heavily on the goodwill of others. Every time she attempts to defend herself, it feels like she's digging herself deeper into a hole. Instead of demonstrating humility or taking responsibility for her actions, her responses to the backlash have often seemed defiant. This has led many fans and critics to view her as out of touch, further widening the gap between her perceptions and those of her potential supporters. Things have only escalated as her controversies spill into other fan communities, particularly among Marvel fans. After Snow White began facing negative attention, old social media posts of Rachel's resurfaced, revealing instances where she took shots at the Hawkeye series and even mocked its dedicated fan base. This didn't sit well with Marvel enthusiasts who are notoriously fiercely loyal. They've started calling her out on various platforms, demanding that Disney cut ties with her altogether and expressing their dissatisfaction with her behavior. For someone already on shaky ground with Disney, alienating one of the biggest fan bases in the world could prove to be a career-ending misstep. It's not just Marvel fans who are frustrated. General Disney fans are also fed up, arguing that Rachel isn't the right fit to represent the brand. Her public trashing of Snow White, a beloved classic, has made her emblematic of everything fans see as wrong with the studio's recent approach to remakes. Many are even calling for her replacement, or suggesting that Disney should scrap her version of Snow White entirely in favor of a different vision. That's an avalanche of backlash for one actress to handle, especially since she's meant to be the face of Disney's live-action Snow White, a film intended to honor the very first animated feature in history. Rachel's reputation has taken such a hit that some are speculating she might end up blacklisted by major studios. The negative publicity surrounding her isn't limited to just one project. It has spread across multiple franchises and fan bases. In Hollywood, where forgiveness is rare, actors can quickly become more of a headache than a draw for studios. Of course, there's always a chance for redemption. A sincere apology, accompanied by a genuine willingness to learn from her mistakes and adjust her public persona, could help mend her public image. However, for now, Rachel's future in Hollywood seems uncertain. With so many other talented actresses eager for roles and willing to play the game, she might find herself on the outside looking in unless she makes some serious changes in how she presents herself and engages with her audience. The window for recovery is closing, and the stakes have never been higher for her career. As the entertainment landscape shifts, it remains to be seen whether Rachel can turn the tide in her favor. What does the future hold for Rachel Zegler? Only time will tell. For now, she has some serious convincing to do if she wants studios to see her as a viable option. Until then, it looks like Rachel's once bright career is facing some major challenges. What do you think? Can she turn things around? Let us know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe for more insightful content. Thanks for watching.